At number 9, the Chevrolet Caprice. This wasn't just a bad redesign, it was automotive suicide. Chevrolet took a respected full-size sedan and transformed it into something that looked like a melted bar of soap. The rounded, bubble-like styling alienated traditional buyers instantly. Under the hood sat engines ranging from a 4.3-liter V6 producing 200 horsepower to a 5.7-liter LT1 V8 with 260 horsepower. But no amount of power could overcome that polarizing appearance. Buyers called it the bubble car and beached whale. While the police package version earned respect among law enforcement, civilian models sat on dealer lots collecting dust. The interior was spacious, and the V8 delivered decent performance, but consumers refused to be seen in something that looked like a cartoon character. Sales collapsed, and by 1996, Chevrolet pulled the plug. The Caprice proved that even established nameplates can die when styling goes horribly wrong. Number 8. The Chevrolet Cavalier. This car represents everything wrong with corporate cost-cutting in the 1990s. Powered by a wheezing 2.2-liter four-cylinder producing just 120 horsepower, or an optional 2.3-liter with 150 horsepower, the Cavalier was slow, crude, and felt outdated the moment it left the showroom. But performance was the least of its problems. Build quality was catastrophically bad. Interior plastics cracked and rattled within months. Paint faded and peeled after one summer. Transmissions failed prematurely. Head gaskets blew, and electrical systems went haywire. Consumer reports consistently rated it below average for reliability, and owners discovered they'd bought a disposable car. The Cavalier sold well because it was cheap, but owners paid the real price in constant repairs and embarrassment. It proved that low price doesn't mean good value. Sometimes it just means garbage. At number 7, the Chrysler LeBaron. This car represented everything wrong with Chrysler's desperate attempts to stay relevant in the early 1990s. The LeBaron came with options ranging from a wheezing 2.5-liter four-cylinder producing just 100 horsepower to a 3.0-liter V6 with 141 horsepower. Even with the V6, it felt underpowered and outdated, but performance was far from its biggest problem. These LeBarons were plagued by transmission failures that left owners stranded repeatedly. The 3-speed automatic was notoriously unreliable, slipping and failing well before 100,000 miles. Electrical systems were nightmares. Power windows stopped working, dashboard lights flickered randomly, and the computer modules failed constantly. The interior featured cheap plastics that cracked in sunlight, and the convertible tops leaked and tore within years. Rust appeared quickly, especially around wheel wells and door bottoms. Consumer reports rated it below average for reliability, and owners discovered that Chrysler's K-Car platform had been stretched beyond its limits. The LeBaron showed that rebadging old technology with fancy names can't hide fundamental engineering problems and poor build quality. Number 6. The Dodge Neon. This car broke hearts because it showed genuine promise before destroying itself. The first-generation Neon launched with a 2.0-liter four-cylinder, producing 132 horsepower, or 150 in sport models. Initially, enthusiasts praised its peppy performance and fun handling. Then, the head gaskets started failing catastrophically, often before 60,000 miles. The problem was so widespread it became legendary among mechanics. Owners watched their engines overheat and blow, leaving them with repair bills that exceeded the car's value. Beyond the engine failures, Neons rusted prematurely, electrical systems failed, and air conditioning units died regularly. What made the Neon's failure particularly cruel was that it actually drove well when it worked. The chassis was responsive, the engine delivered decent punch, but reliability was so dismal that Consumer Reports gave it among the lowest ratings in its class. The Neon proved that good intentions mean nothing without quality execution. Number 5. The Ford Explorer. This SUV helped create the 1990s truck boom, but it became infamous for a safety scandal that killed hundreds. The first-generation Explorer came with either a 4.0-liter V6 producing 155 horsepower or a 4.9-liter V8 with 185 horsepower. It looked capable and sold like crazy, but a deadly combination of design flaws and inadequate tires created a nightmare. The Explorer's high center of gravity combined with Firestone tire failures led to catastrophic rollovers. Over 250 deaths were attributed to these issues, sparking one of the largest recalls in automotive history. Beyond the tire controversy, early Explorers suffered transmission failures, timing chain problems, and head gasket issues. The 4.0-liter engine became notorious for expensive repairs. What should have been Ford's triumph became a cautionary tale about rushing vehicles to market. The Explorer showed that popularity doesn't equal quality, and cutting corners on safety can cost lives. At number 4, the Ford Taurus. Ford took America's best-selling car and destroyed it with one catastrophically bad redesign. The 1996 Taurus featured radical oval-shaped styling everywhere: oval windows, oval door handles, oval climate controls. Ford called it futuristic. Buyers called it ugly. Power came from a 3.0-liter V6 with 145 horsepower or a 3.4-liter V8 producing 235 horsepower in SHO models. But styling wasn't the only disaster. These Tauruses suffered from transmission failures so common that Ford faced multiple class action lawsuits. The AX4S and AX4N transmissions regularly failed before 100,000 miles, leaving owners with repair bills exceeding $3,000. Interior materials were cheap and degraded quickly, electrical systems were unreliable, and suspension components wore out prematurely. Sales collapsed, and Ford lost its bestseller crown to Toyota Camry. The Taurus proved that even dominant market leaders can fall spectacularly when they forget what made them successful.
Number 3, the Chrysler Cirrus. Chrysler's attempt to compete in the mid-size sedan market failed so completely it became a textbook example of how not to build cars. The Cirrus came with either a 2.4-liter four-cylinder producing 150 horsepower or a 2.5-liter V6 with 168 horsepower. Later, Chrysler added a 2.7-liter V6 that became infamous for engine sludge problems, leading to catastrophic engine failure. Owners reported transmissions slipping and dying, electrical systems going haywire, and suspension components breaking prematurely. The interior featured plastic so cheap they cracked within months, and paint quality was so poor that clear coat failure became universal. Consumer Reports rated it well below average, and J.D. Power surveys consistently ranked it among the least reliable vehicles available. The Cirrus proved that badge engineering and desperate cost-cutting can't create competitive products. It damaged Chrysler's reputation and left thousands of owners with worthless cars and empty wallets.
At number 2, the Ford Escort. This wasn't just a disappointment, it was a portrayal of one of Ford's most trusted nameplates. The second-generation American Escort came with either a 1.9-liter four-cylinder producing 88 horsepower or a 1.8-liter with 127 horsepower in GT models. Ford marketed it as a reliable, affordable compact, but owners discovered they'd been sold a lemon wrapped in false promises. These Escorts suffered from catastrophic automatic transmission failures that became so common Ford faced class action lawsuits. The transmissions would slip, shudder, and die, often before 60,000 miles, leaving owners with repair bills that exceeded the car's value. Beyond transmissions, the 1.9-liter engine developed head gasket failures, timing belt issues, and oil leaks. Electrical systems were nightmares with constant failures. Interior plastics cracked immediately, paint peeled within years, and rust appeared in dry climates. Consumer Reports rated it among the least reliable cars available, and resale values plummeted. What made the Escort's failure so damaging was that families trusted the Ford name and paid the price with constant breakdowns and financial losses. The Escort proved that even established nameplates can become disasters.
And at number 1, the Ford Windstar. This minivan wasn't just bad, it was a catastrophic failure that cost Ford billions and left hundreds of thousands of families stranded. The Windstar launched with either a 3.0-liter V6 producing 150 horsepower or a 3.8-liter V6 with 200 horsepower. Those numbers looked decent on paper, but owners quickly discovered they'd bought rolling disasters on wheels. The Windstar became infamous for catastrophic transmission failures, often before 50,000 miles. Ford faced multiple class-action lawsuits as transmissions disintegrated, leaving families stranded with repair bills exceeding $3,000. But transmissions were just the beginning. Rear axles broke without warning, causing loss of control at highway speeds. Head gaskets failed regularly, coil springs snapped and punctured tires, and the subframe rusted through, creating dangerous structural failures. Consumer Reports gave it their lowest reliability rating, calling it one of the worst vehicles they'd ever tested. Ford eventually recalled over 4 million Windstars for various safety defects. Resale values collapsed, and owners were stuck with worthless vehicles that couldn't be trusted. The Windstar proved that even major manufacturers can produce complete disasters when cost-cutting and poor engineering collide.